Now at 9, kids in Pittsburgh learn about Chinese culture in honor of the Chinese New Year. Plus, we take a look at how teens are getting ready for prom season with help from an area boutique. And
Saturday marks 2 years since Russia began its invasion of Ukraine. We've now gotten key with how Ukraine is keeping up the fight. Come in.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
this is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe. Police in Monette, Missouri are searching for 2 men wanted for felony warrants. The Monette Police Department posted the mugshots of Dakota Morgan and Andrew Irwin to social media with a message, "Please share and make them famous." Authorities believe the pair are residing somewhere in Monette. If you have any information on their whereabouts, you are asked to contact the Monette Police Department. Police in Parsons, Kansas arrest a man for violating the conditions of his sex offender registration. 43-year-old Christopher Thompson has 2 sexual battery convictions, 1 in Kansas and 1 in Oklahoma. He's registered as a sex offender, meaning he can't live near a school. He was arrested yesterday at a residence 2 blocks from Lincoln Elementary School. He faces 4 counts of violation of offender registration. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us for a first look at weather.
So we've had a few warm days and we're continuing that streak as we move into the weekend and into Monday morning. Right now out in Joplin, it's 54 degrees and clear. We're having winds pretty light out of the south. We're going to see no rain or snow in the forecast for the next several days. However, that is going to come to an end on Tuesday. We'll be tracking a system moving in Tuesday evening. Throughout the remainder of the night, it's going to be pretty clear. Temperatures drop down to the lower 50s and upper 40s for our low tonight. And we'll see this ridge form over our area for the next several days. That's what is bringing us that southerly breeze and the warmer temperatures, clear skies. This isn't until Monday when we see the clouds move in and a possible wintry mix on Tuesday. I'll bring you more details in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. With prom season just around the corner, many high school students are already preparing. The Boutique Marketplace hosted a prom expo today to help. The local store had vendors and stylists to help teens and parents get ready for the big day. Prom goers could look at corsages, look through dozens of consignment dresses, or get fitted for a tuxedo. The store owner says they hope the prom expo makes the big day less stressful.
About 3 years ago, we started offering tuxedo rentals to the menu of services that we offer in the boutique. And so today is just kind of the kickoff to the prom season and how we can make this the one-stop prom shop.
The organizer of the expo says prom will be here before you know it. She recommends preparing for the big day sooner rather than later to ensure you find exactly what you're looking for. Local fathers and daughters got all dressed up today for a daddy-daughter date tonight. The Joplin History and Mineral Museum and Joplin Parks and Recreation hosted the event. Attendees were able to saddle up in their favorite cowboy and cowgirl attire while playing a variety of games. Organizers say the event gives parents a chance to create memories with their children.
My favorite part about the event is seeing the little girls out here dancing and singing along to the music and having fun, and the dads out here also dancing with the girls and really connecting.
The date night is a 2-day event and will wrap up this evening at 8. Hundreds of area collectors gathered in Carthage today for the annual Spring Coin and Stamp Collectible Show. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on treasures collectors of all ages hope to find.
At the 32nd Annual Spring Collectible Show, a penny is more than a penny. Hundreds of collectors and sellers from all around filled the Carthage Memorial Hall to look at a variety of collectibles, such as coins, stamps, and postcards.
I have about 50 tables of vendors and tables, and the coins go anywhere from pennies to silver dollars and stuff like that.
The event, sponsored by the Barton-Jasper County Collectors Association, brought in collectors young and old. Gabriel Harris is a passionate collector who started his hobby 2 years ago. He's also just 9 years old.
When I heard about the coin show, I just get excited and I start saving up for it.
The young collector says he likes to look for coins that are old or silver, and he says some caught his eye at the show.
I found some gold coins here, and I found a really old coin that I bought.
Organizer Brad Potter says the show is a great way to come look at a variety of interesting collectibles without paying anything.
You can come to a coin show and see 20 times what they have in a coin shop.
But some collectors like Gabriel hope not too many join the hobby.
No, I don't think so.
Keep all the coins for yourself.
Yeah.
In Carthage, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The next show is scheduled for this summer, July 13th. You can learn more about the coin and collectibles show on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, kids in Pittsburgh today had the chance to learn more about Chinese culture. The group Fun with Foreign Languages demonstrated how to make dumplings and craft fruit dragons as part of its Lantern Festival. Fun with Foreign Languages was founded 2 years ago as a way to teach children about different cultures.
As a parent, we've done this club for 2 years now, and my boys have really learned a lot. It's definitely been building relationships and learning, so it's been great for our family.
The event was held at First Christian Church in Pittsburgh from 10 to 11 a.m. Coming up, the FDA warns about smart devices claiming to measure your blood sugar levels without a needle. The Food and Drug Administration warns consumers about potentially false advertising around some smart accessories. The agency says consumers who need to measure their blood sugar should not rely on smartwatches, rings, or other devices that do not pierce the skin. Doctors warn relying on such a device could lead to inaccurate readings and potentially devastating consequences. Millions of people use treadmills every day, but did you know more Americans are injured by them than any other piece of exercise equipment? Mandy Gaither explains the dangers of treadmills and how you and your family can avoid getting hurt.
They're in gyms and homes across the U.S., but this piece of exercise equipment can be dangerous.
Treadmills are a great way to get in some exercise, but if you're using them improperly, then that's when the injuries can occur.
In the latest data from 2019, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says there were more than 22,000 treadmill injuries treated in hospital emergency rooms across the country. Typical injuries include slips, sprains and strains, concussions, broken bones, and in very rare cases, death. Kids and pets are especially at risk of injury.
Children can get hurt on a moving treadmill. So it's important to secure the treadmills. If the treadmill has a key, you want to remove it, store it, and secure it away.
A 2017 study found treadmills also cause some children to be burned. Researchers say the burns often happened when a child placed their hand on a moving treadmill and became trapped. But adults can be hurt by a moving treadmill too.
You could be distracted, you could drop your cell phone, your fingers could get stuck. Your feet could get stuck.
To stay safe, experts say to wear proper footwear for traction and secure the treadmill safety key to your shirt. If you happen to stumble or fall, the key will immediately turn off the machine. Straddle the belt before stepping on, starting at a slow speed. And when you're done, make sure the belt has stopped before stepping off.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, agriculture experts are warning about the warmer winter's effects on harvests.
Temperatures are warming up as we move into the weekend and early next week. Taking a look outside at our Cornell Complex camera downtown Joplin. Winds have lightened up and it is still a clear, gorgeous night ahead. Temperatures in the 50s right now, and we're seeing the temperatures continue to stay warm all throughout the weekend and into early next week. We may be hitting another record by Tuesday. We don't have any rain or snow in the forecast for the next several days, so we're going to have a few more days of sunshine ahead. Starting tomorrow, 7 a.m., starting about 49 degrees, and then getting up to 78 as our high. So we're in the upper 70s on Sunday, and that's going to continue to warm up Monday and Tuesday. So like I said, we could hit a record. We have this ridge forming over our area that is bringing in the southerly air, warming down our area. It's also bringing in that sinking air, giving us the clear skies that we're seeing for the last several days. Now, clouds roll in on Monday, and it's moving in a system off on the west coast into our area Tuesday, late Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. It's also going to be a really windy event. So this starts Monday evening as we see these winds are gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour from the south. Now we're going to continue through time. We'll see winds are still coming from the south, but as those winds shift, we'll see this cold front. That's what that is. That is where we're getting our rain in this event. We see the winds are still gusting north, and as that passes, they're going to continue to gust north, as we continue on. And we're going to see this system make its way, dropping those temperatures behind it pretty drastically. Moving into Tuesday afternoon, we're in the 81 degrees in Bonita, 78 in Joplin, and then we'll see rain, and this rain could have some thunderstorms due to the instability right ahead of this cold front, that warm air, and then here's that cold front right behind it, bringing in some possible snow. But see how these temperatures drop from being 80 degrees as our high on Tuesday, falling to 20 in the 20s on Wednesday. So it's going to be a pretty drastic change. You see 29 in Joplin, 28 in Parsons, and this is Wednesday at 11 a.m. So just a mere 20 hours later, we're seeing these temperatures drop, let's see, almost 40 degrees. We're going to continue on. They'll warm back up. It's not going to be what we saw a month ago with a week long of cold temperatures. It'll just be a few days, and we'll continue on, and we'll see these temperatures warm back up next weekend and back into the 60s and 70s on Saturday, and we may see some more showers coming in late next weekend.
It's a whole mixed bag this week ahead of us, but some gorgeous days, so I'm happy about it, honestly.
I'm happy too, but I am interested to see how this system turns out. I'm still new to the area, so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. While an apple a day may help keep the doctor away, warmer winter weather could be keeping many of us from enjoying some of our favorite fruits this spring and fall. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten has the story.
While many fruits are sweet, consumers could be in store for some sour news. This as agricultural experts warn that mild winters may be impacting the health of future harvests, spelling potential trouble for your wallet. According to Melissa Whitholm, climatologist at Purdue University, some plants go through a process called dormancy during the winter.
A lot of different varieties of fruits and nut crops, they have to go through a period where they're sitting at temperatures that are readying them for the next growing season. And so we call that a chilling period.
Different plants need to be exposed to colder temperatures for various periods to help strengthen them for when it's time to bud.
Take apples, for example. You can have some varieties that may need as little as 200 chilling units. You could have some that need up to 1,000 or more chilling units.
But with winters getting warmer, some plants aren't staying dormant for as long as they should. This could prevent them from surviving cold spells in the spring and lead to damaged crops.
So plants have to have an optimal amount of chilling before they start to break dormancy and to ensure they have a really high quality crop the next year.
And this season, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says El Nino weather patterns are creating conditions for warmer than average temperatures for much of the country. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Another airline raises its baggage fees this year. We'll have more on that story coming up. One more airline raises its baggage fees to add to its revenue streams. United Airlines says it is hiking its checked bag fees by $5. Starting today, a first checked bag goes from $35 to $40 or from $30 to $35 if prepaid 24 hours in advance. United becomes another in a group of airlines raising their checked bag fees this year. Alaska, American, and JetBlue have all increased their checked bags charges in 2024. United Airlines introduced 6 new flight training simulators to its flight training center in Denver, Colorado Thursday, making it the largest flight training center in the world. Fox's Nicole Fierro has the story.
We are sitting inside one of the new simulators in this new Denver building, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell. It looks like we're right here at the San Francisco runway. Now, these new simulators in this new building, they are going to be able to provide more training for 240 more pilots a day. We're about to take off and see exactly what they're doing.
You let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay. The brakes are released.
Taking off from the virtual San Francisco airport runway at United's new Denver Training Center building. Adding the ability to conduct more than 32,000 training events a year to train up to 860 pilots a day. Experienced pilots like Captain Dennis Nelson leading us.
Every 9 months we come back for recurrent training.
Getting practice in all sorts of situations.
So we could have any fires, engine failures, electrical problems, hydraulic problems, and then we have checklists that we go through, and there's a proper way to go through those checklists.
Plus new pilots getting their start here before going in the air.
These are 737 MAX simulators. If you fly we have many 737 simulators, but we take somebody from their prior aircraft and we train them for 5 weeks, and the first time they are flying an actual airplane is with people on board. So these are that similar.
A milestone for United in the Mile High.
Building H represents opportunity for us. It represents training capacity that we will need to continue to fuel our growth.
Growth, with United adding 300 pilots to date this year, on top of the 2,300 pilots hired in 2023. What Mayor Mike Johnston sees as an opportunity in the city.
We're delighted about the fact that now that we have the largest flight training center in the world right here in this neighborhood, that means 17,000 pilots will be coming here every 9 months to help get training right here on the ground in Denver.
Practice putting pilots in a better position to make sure you're getting out of DIA to your destination safely.
Congratulations.
Wow. We did it.
Up next, a woman in Fort Scott celebrates her 100th birthday. A Fort Scott woman is celebrating her birthday today, but it's not just any birthday, it's her 100th birthday. Birthday girl Natalie Comstock celebrated the big day surrounded by 5 generations of family members. We asked Natalie to share with us a piece of advice for younger generations and what her secret is to living a long life.
My secret? I don't know. Just being, I guess my secret is being a good person. To be good people and to be good neighbors and be good friends.
Natalie has both a brother and sister who made it past the 100-year mark. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. South Carolina voters cast their votes in a matchup between their former governor and the former president. Today marks 2 years since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine. Ukrainians are keeping up the fight, but facing an increasingly uphill battle without more help from the U.S. Fox News correspondent Greg Palcott is in Kyiv with the latest.
Ukraine marking a somber milestone on Saturday, 2 years since the start of Russia's invasion. 2 years of war and weariness for the Ukrainian people with no end to the fighting in sight. After some early success in pushing back Russia's advance, some cracks are beginning to show. Ukraine in recent weeks forced to abandon one of its key positions in the east, as Russian troops move in on territory that Moscow hopes to take for itself. On Saturday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky welcoming allies to Kyiv and signing new security agreements with the leaders of Italy and Canada. Zelensky bringing them to Hostomel airfield, which Russia failed to take in one of the earliest battles of the war.
Putin was sure he could easily take strategic targets like this airport. We are standing here today because he was wrong.
This place is a symbol of Ukrainian pride.
President Biden didn't make the trip but attended via video conference. His administration has promised Ukraine another $61 billion in military aid, but so far has been unable to move it through Congress. The White House on Friday announced a new round of sanctions against Russia, but Moscow's economy has so far remained resilient despite the pressure. All across Europe, demonstrations showing solidarity with Ukraine. Many of those taking part, including Ukrainian refugees, looking forward to the day they can finally return home.
We need to win Russia because it could be next the other countries.
Even after the war ends, Ukraine faces a long road to recovery. A recent study by the World Bank finding that rebuilding the economy could cost nearly $500 billion. In Kyiv, Greg Valcott, Fox News.
Mourners lined up outside Christ the Savior Cathedral in Moscow today to pay their respects to the late Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Photos and videos published by the independent Russian news outlet Sotovision show Russian police officers stationed nearby and officers stopping several people for an ID check. The prominent opposition leader was 47. He died on February 16th. Hoping to notch another state under his belt, former President Donald Trump has his sights set on a third Republican presidential nomination. And it's not a stretch. Recent polls point to an almost certain victory for him in South Carolina. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen is in Charleston, South Carolina, with the latest on today's primary.
Voters here in South Carolina are heading to the polls as Nikki Haley tries to defend her home turf against frontrunner Donald Trump.
Making her case to voters in South Carolina, long-shot presidential candidate Nikki Haley hoping to gain some ground in the state's Republican primary.
If you join me in this fight, I will spend every single day proving to you that you made a good decision.
Despite Trump's commanding 28-point lead in a recent poll, the former South Carolina governor refusing to bow out.
When 70% of Americans say they don't want Trump or Biden, when those are the two most disliked politicians in America, why would I stop? I'm going to keep going as long as the American people tell me to go.
We sort of don't even talk about her anymore. It's amazing when you do badly in the polls how you don't mention people.
Seeming unthreatened by his last standing Republican rival, Trump turning his attacks on President Biden.
Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. When they do weaponization and when they do election interference like a third world country, they're really a threat to democracy.
Embroiled in legal troubles, Trump has already won contests in 3 states and is backed by some of the state's biggest political names, including a former challenger.
Let South Carolina send a message to all America. The Republican primary is over.
Both candidates are hoping to keep the competition going ahead of Tuesday's primary in Michigan and a week later on Super Tuesday when voters from more than a dozen states head to the polls. In Charleston, South Carolina, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Later, new data shows that nearly 50% of Americans have seen the cost of streaming services go up in the past year. We'll have the details.
Our high for tomorrow is in the upper 70s, and that's going to keep going up as we move into early next week, possibly breaking some records. Taking a look outside at our Cornell Complex camera, downtown Joplin. Winds are lightening up, but there is still clear skies and warmer temperatures ahead. We have no rain or snow in the forecast for the next several days. However, that is cut short due to the system that we have moving in on Tuesday. All day tomorrow, though, it will be sunny skies with our high being 78 degrees. So we're getting close to the 80s. I know it's still only February, but I'm not complaining. We have a ridge forming over our area this weekend and early next week. That's bringing in that sinking air and the winds from the south, pushing up some southerly air, bringing all that warmer temperatures that we're seeing. Now, clouds roll in Monday evening, and we're tracking this next system over here, making its way into our area Tuesday evening, possibly bringing in some thunderstorms. And it's also coming with quite fast winds. We see these winds gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour. Starting off Monday evening from the south, we're going to continue on. And we're seeing them kind of shift a little bit right before that cold front starts to make its way through. That'll come through Tuesday overnight hours, possibly right after midnight. We see it still sitting off of our northern counties at around 9:30 p.m. Winds gusting 45 miles per hour, and then as that cold front passes, we see those winds shift from the north now, still going to be gusting up pretty high. We're going to take a look at what that system's going to bring us. As we move into Tuesday afternoon, we see temperatures getting up to 81 in Veneta, 78 in Joplin, 76 in Nevada. And now this could still get warmer as we get closer to that Tuesday evening. We see the rain starting to appear on our northern counties, and it's going to make its way through. Now this is right before that cold front happens. You see these winds from the south, and then these winds from the north. Cold front is right behind this little strip of rain, and that could turn into some thunderstorms as we move into the overnight hours on Tuesday. As that passes, it's going to drop those temperatures from the upper 70s and 80s to the 30s right after that passes, 4 a.m. on Wednesday, and it's going to continue to drop 20s by 11 a.m. on Wednesday. So it's going to be a pretty significant drop as we continue into Wednesday evening. But it's not going to be long-lived. Those colder temperatures will warm back up again as we move into Thursday and Friday. It's not going to be like the system we had last month where it was cold for a week or so. Now, sun comes back out right after this system moves out of the way. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, temperatures warm back up to the 70s, and then we have another chance of rain late next weekend.
Well, it was certainly a gorgeous day today. I thought outside. Yes. It was beautiful.
And today we only got to the 60s. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 70s. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, coming up in sports, Missouri Southern and Pitt State basketball wrap up their final road trip of the season. Plus, a district title is on the line tonight in Lamar. Brock Baldridge has the highlights and more up next.
Well, we are officially in the postseason when it comes to Missouri high school hoops. Both the Lamar Tigers and College Heights boys basketball teams have a shot to bring home a district championship. Let's go out to Lamar. The Tigers are the hosts of this year's Class 3 District 12 championship against the Washburn Trojans. So we head early on to the game now. Taylon Timmons hits a three-point shot at the top of the key for the Tigers. Later in the first half, the loose ball on the floor, and Southwest's Jesse Holder picks it up and finishes the layup on the other end, goes coast to coast. Southwest led the Tigers by 8 points at halftime. So we head to the second half now. This guy, Ian Googie, count the bucket plus the foul. Lamar storms back to tie the game, but very next possession, loose ball on the floor, and Holder again, great awareness and knocks down the jumper. Fast forward to the fourth quarter. Lamar down by 3 points, 10 seconds left in the game. Ian Googie gets the layup, thought he was fouled. Timeout Lamar. It's a 1-point game. Southwest goes 1-on-1 for free throws on the other end. So here we go. Lamar down by 2 points. 2 seconds left in the game. Googie shoots for the win. Just off the mark. Southwest holds on to beat Lamar by an eyelash. What a game. Southwest beats Lamar 68-66, the final score. Another district game happening tonight. College Heights Cougars host the Ash Grove Pirates. And look at this. College Heights beats the #1 seed in their district 78-69, the final score. The Cougars advance to sectionals. They will face Blue Eye this Tuesday. Well, there's only one more weekend remaining in the regular season for the MIAA. Now, both the Pitt State and Missouri Southern basketball teams wrap up their final road games of the season. The women's game for Pitt State, the Gorillas had to have this one. They want to play extended postseason basketball, and the women get the job done. Pitt State defeats Nebraska Kearney 85-57. The Gorillas have now won their 20th game of the season. Over to the men's side now, taking the court after the women's game. The Gorillas blow out Nebraska Kearney on the road 90-64, the final score. Max Alexander at 21 points in this game. Pitt State has now won 8 of their last 9 games. Now over to Hayes. Missouri Southern looking to hold on to that #2 seed for the women's game in the MIAA standings. It comes down to the wire. Missouri Southern loses a heartbreaker in double overtime to Fort Hays State, 85-81, the final score. As the women come up short in overtime, unfortunately, it was the same story for the men's team. Missouri Southern loses by just 2 points in overtime with a 67-65 final score. However, Avery Taggart scores his 1,000th career point in this game for the Lions. Well, it's been just a horrendous start to the season for both the Missouri Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks men's basketball programs. Now, Mizzou is looking for their first conference win. Meanwhile, Arkansas is, well, they've been flat disappointing this year. However, the two rivals meet today in Fayetteville. Mizzou at Arkansas. First half, Khalif Battle knocks down it. The jumper there from the baseline. Hogs down by 6, or up by 6, I should say. Final seconds of the first half. Sean East almost loses the ball, but drives in to get the layup at the buzzer. Missouri trails by 2 at halftime. So head to the second half now. 2-point Razorback lead. Off the miss, it's the former Razorback, Connor Vanover, gets the putback slam. Game is tied 50 apiece. Later in the half, Hogs up by 1. Khalif Battle from way downtown. That's NBA range there. Very next possession, it's Battle who steps back. Give me that all day. Drains the three-point shot. And then in transition, guess who? Heat check for Khalif Battle, who finished with a career-high 42 points. Arkansas beats Mizzou at home 88-73. Let's look for sports. We're back with more news after this.
If you feel like you're spending more than ever on subscriptions to streaming services, you're not alone. New data shows that nearly half of us have seen the cost go up over the past year. Fox's Kendall Green has more.
More options don't always mean more of an advantage when it comes to streaming service. How many subscriptions do you have?
Around 5, I think.
Do you know how much you're spending every month?
Not really, no.
With classic comfort TV shows dominating ratings, paying to catch them is getting a little more uncomfortable for streamers, who instead of channel surfing are doing more subscription surfing.
Hulu, Netflix, Disney, against my protests.
Okay.
With, hold on, there's more. HBO. No, now it's called Max.
We had to cut this dad's list short, and as long as it was, he doesn't always watch what he's subscribing to, like scores of other subscribers, even though it comes with a hefty price tag.
Probably about $100 a month. Wait, I got to think what else I got. Hold on. I got YouTube TV. That alone is $82.99 a month.
What are you doing, dude?
I got rid of cable, though.
Forbes Home in One poll conducted a survey of 2,000 Americans who stream at least an hour daily and found 33% had to create their own streaming subscription account due to stricter service rules. People on average spend more than $550 on streaming a year, and 44% reported increased subscription costs from the year before. Navigating streaming service in surplus is not just hard on consumers, but producers and advertisers as well.
If you're an artist, you want to have your show on the platform that's going to get the most views.
What we're wondering in the industry is at what point do they all raise pricing too much to where enough consumers say, okay, I've had it.
What do you think is too expensive?
More than $13 a month is a little crazy.
Up next is 74-year-old Missouri man achieves his dream of becoming a college graduate. One St. Louis man is proving that you are never too old to achieve your dream. He graduated from Harris-Stowe State University at the age of 74, making him the university's oldest graduate. It was also a dream that was 50 years in the making. Melanie Johnson has more.
A journey that dates back to 1973 when David Morris stepped onto a college campus for the first time after being drafted to the military.
Nothing worth having comes easy.
It took 50 years for him to live out the dream that was delayed but not denied.
If you tell somebody your dreams, and if they're not laughing and shaking your head at you, you're not dreaming big enough.
At 74 years old.
And I walked across the stage and it seemed like everybody was just genuinely happy for me.
Morris finally taking the walk that took decades to happen and graduated with a bachelor's degree.
Mr. Morris, please stand.
His daughter cheering him on. He was the oldest in his fall 2023 graduating class at Harris-Stowe State University.
For your children, what do you want them to know in this life?
I want them to know that they can achieve anything they want to achieve.
The road to crossing the stage came with setbacks.
I had a stroke in 2007.
And back-to-back losses that stood in the way of living out his dreams sooner.
My brothers and sisters, there's 3 of us left. They all died from colon cancer. I had a daughter that was 19. God, hell of a basketball player. Lost her in a car accident in 2000. My wife lived 2 years and 8 months after being diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
He's somebody who's like, you know what, this is not a dream deferred. This is something that I'm going to do.
Karen Zamarco was his student success coach as Morris only needed one class to make it to the finish line. Spanish.
Buenos dias. Oh, bien, y tú? I knew that it was going to be something special when Mr. Morris told me his student ID number and it was only 3 digits long.
With a degree in general studies with an emphasis on history,
I'm still not done.
The now 75-year-old has an even bigger dream.
His willingness to say, you know what, you're never too old and it's never too late.
So what's next for you?
Law school. Law school. I'm going to law school.
A history maker with a message: when life gets tough,
and just don't give up, you know.
It gets better.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a newborn seal at the Illinois Zoo. From all of us here in the studio, have a great night.